Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical,
Have you ever found yourself?
Are you dating for that person?
informative and
I feel
inspirational.
every bit of it. Like, I'm not trying to waste my
How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I testing.
Intellectual stew.
Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager.
Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
Look, I'm getting a little late start tonight, so let me let the music play at least one more time, and then we'll get the show going in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let me send out some invites. Hopefully, I can get some people to jump on with me tonight.
Intellectual stew with James Kirkland. Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew. Intellectual.
All right, I'm gonna let it play again. I like my music, so I'm gonna let it play one more time while I'm trying to set up some things because, like I said, I got a late start tonight, and I'll fix it in a moment. I promise I'll make it worth your while if y'all hold out for me.
Intellectual stew with James Kirkland.
I ain't even turn off the music. Hold on. Let me turn my phone down. Let me share some stuff.
Intellectual stew.
I can, but I don't know what I need to be adjusting. But I most certainly can.
Intellectual stew.
What's up, y'all? Come on in. Share this thread, please. What's up, Jesse? Are you on YouTube? Jesse, if you're on YouTube, they won't see you on they won't see your comments on Facebook. Let it go one more time, and let me try to see if I can get this color a little bit better.
Intellectual stew.
Supposed to be. Hold on, I think I saved the settings. Y'all groove with me for a second. I'm gonna be ready in a minute, like I said.
With James Kirkland.
I'm discombobulated because I'm just getting started. Y'all know I usually start at 9, and we're starting at 10 tonight. But I'm trying to get some things resolved before. Okay, here we go.
Intellectual stew.
240, 147, 134. Same there. I'm trying to get my settings right because I think I look a little red. But if this is right, then it is what it is because hold on, no, that's chill. But that's fine. All right. So whatever. Hey, what's up? What it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirk. And now we're getting ready to get this show started. Let me stop this music. Have you all shared it yet? All right, there we go. Had to get it off right quick. Let me turn off all my ringers. Let me turn off my ringers and let me get everything set up because I am ill prepared, but I knew I was supposed to start at 9, but I purposely said I wasn't going to start until 9:30 because I went to revival tonight. And revival lasted a little bit longer than I thought it was going to last. So while I was in church, I changed it to 10 o'clock. And so here we are. And I wanted to start on time at 10 o'clock. I wanted to start on time at 10 o'clock. And here we are. So we're getting ready to get started. I really don't have a whole lot to talk about tonight, but I just want to be faithful in coming on. Really don't have a whole lot to talk about because we're getting ready for I got to travel tomorrow. I'm heading to Little Rock tomorrow. So let me get some of these overlays and stuff set up right, so we can have service or have our show. And as I always say, what's up, what it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirkland. And we come to you live every Monday night at 9 p.m. normally Eastern Standard Time. But tonight, I come get you to you at hold on, I get this. Make sure this microphone is transmitting. Can y'all hear me? If you can hear me, say yes. Or put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Okay, I'm still transmitting according to this. So yeah. So we're getting ready to get started. And okay, good. Thank you, Lakeisha. All right, so we're getting ready to get started. We've been dealing with things related to the bonding of the sexes because we're preparing for our next we're preparing for our next live podcast, which is going to take place on May the 4th in Little Rock, Arkansas at the Kappa House. There it is. It's the Bonding of the Sexes 2. Let's do it again. And the reason we say that we're doing it again because we did it on March the 2nd. And on that night, we had several people who could not find parking spaces, so they left. And they didn't get a chance to take advantage of the conversation that took place on that night. And honestly, I was a little upset afterwards because while it was hot, I wanted to get that video out so everyone could watch it. But the person who did it for me took a little longer than it was kind of about the time we agreed upon, but it really wasn't. But either way, it didn't happen like I wanted to. And I felt like we lost a little momentum, but either way, we're still here and we're set up for May the 4th. And this has really been a good thing and a God thing because so many people have come alongside to help us. And I'm appreciative for those individuals. They've come alongside, they've donated food, they've donated resources. I have a couple of people who keep calling me, asking me, can they sponsor? How can they sponsor? What kind of sponsorship packages I have? I'm like, I don't know, because this is new territory for me. But I appreciate it when somebody sees something in you and then they want to invest and be a part of that growth process. So that's where we are. We're growing. And I really want us to grow together. I'm trying to create a community here. I'm sorry if I'm not consistent. Like I said, tonight we started a little bit later than we would normally start. But nevertheless, I thought that I should at least come on and at least have a conversation with you. I see you, Otis. I see you, Jesse. I see you, Lakeisha. I appreciate you all for being on. So, it's interesting times, man. I'm still on this bonding thing. I'm still on this bonding thing. Somebody just text me and said, email me and said they're trying to buy their ticket. Well, what's happening? If you're in the chat, go ahead and share that information, or you can hit it in my inbox. But what's happening? He said he's trying to buy his ticket and he's having issues buying his ticket. If you go to the website, www.theintellectualstew.com, there it is. Once you get on www.theintellectualstew.com, you can scroll to the bottom of the events page. And as you go to the bottom of the events page, you'll see 2 yellow tabs, one for VIP and one for general admission. Now, The price still says 40 for general admission. Excuse me, 40 for VIP and 20 for general admission. But right now we're having an early bird special. I authorize it. We're doing an early bird special. So if you buy your VIP ticket during the early bird time, you can get $10 off. That's $30. And if you buy your general admission ticket during the early bird time, you can get $5 off. That's $15. Now, if you're having trouble registering, make sure you enter +1 before your phone number, because it requires that you put in the country code. The country code is +1. So if your phone number is 501, whatever, Otis, I don't know how long the early bird is. I might wake up in 3 days and say cut it off. I really shouldn't do an early bird, but I'm not as worried about making money. I do know what the date is, but I don't want people, if I tell people that it's 2 weeks from now, everybody's gonna wait until 13 days and do it. But right now, I'm really just trying to get us to go. You know how your cousins are, bro. So it's early bird now. $30 for VIP. Keisha, help me. VIP, you get to be a part of VIP reception. That's going to be from 6 to 6:45. You're going to get unlimited drinks. Tony TP Pearson. Somebody tag him for me. Make sure so you can get him in here. Tony TP Pearson, our certified mixologist, will be there again, handing roses to the ladies and making drinks. And so if you are a VIP, you will be getting all the drink. I know, that's why I'm trying. I ain't gonna tell you, but I'm joking. But you get the drinks, all the drinks you can drink in that time, of course. I don't think you're coming there to get drunk. That's not a get drunk crowd. But you get VIP reception, you get all the drinks you want, and you also get preferred seating, you get photo ops. It's something else. Preferred seating, VIP reception, unlimited drinks. Oh yeah, and food, VIP food. It's not just gonna be finger foods for those that pay for VIP. It's gonna be a little bit more, a little heavier food. I'm not gonna give you examples because they're taking care of that. Now, with the general admission, now it's not necessarily guaranteed seating. It's first come, first serve. VIPs get a little bit more because they paid more. Right? Money is a medium of exchange for goods and service. The more you pay, then you kind of pay for more. So VIPs get a little bit different treatment, but we're not going to mistreat the general admission because we're also providing finger foods for you. And you're still going to be a part of the conversation. So we're looking forward to that. So if you are trying to get your tickets, go to the bottom of the website, go to www.theintellectualstew.com. Go to the events page and scroll to the bottom of the events page. And when you get there to the bottom of the events page, then you'll see 2 yellow tabs. Hey, Lori. Hey, how you doing? When you get to the bottom of the events page, you're going to see 2 yellow tabs. One says VIP and one says general admission. Now, the prices still say 20 and 40. But when you click on the link, and you start to go through the registration process. I'll say thank you to Lakeisha for making this easy. When you go to click and go through the registration process, it's going to ask for your email address, your name, and your phone number. Your phone number, you have to put in +1. If you don't put in +1, it's going to tell you that you can't register. And it's not anything wrong with it. Trust me. There's nothing wrong with it. It works. We bought our own tickets just to see, make sure it works. So it works. If it's not working, it's user error, and the user error that I have found more than any error is that you're not putting in +1. So if your phone number is 501-444-4444, make sure you put in +1 501-444 whatever I just said a minute ago. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And we'll get this, and we'll have a good time on that night. Like I said, don't wait on the early bird. I ain't gonna lie. If y'all buy enough tickets, if y'all respond fast enough, I might leave it at that price. Who knows? I very well might leave it at that price. I had to share this with somebody today. Okay, +1 was what it was. Okay, cool, Jesse. I had to share it with someone today. For me, this isn't a money grab. If it was a money grab, I wouldn't have put my own personal money out there like I did the first time. Right? So it's not a money grab. I really want to get you in the seats, but I think you should invest in something that you find value in. Because I found out that I invited people last time that didn't show up, right? And whatever reason you didn't show up, but you're not typically people don't invest in aren't as vested in something that they didn't invest in. Does that make sense? People aren't vested in something that they didn't invest in. So if you have a little investment in it, then typically you'll find more value in it. And those that have experienced that conversation on that day, I think they found value in it. Otis, I'm gonna put this phone number up. I want you to call in a minute. Let me put this phone number up. Actually, I'm gonna put the link in the chat too. Let me do that first. VIP reception, unlimited drinks. Make sure to click the box below to receive your personalized ticket. Okay. She said when you check in, make sure you hit the personalized click the box below, and you're going to receive a personalized ticket. So when you pay for it, you will automatically receive a ticket in your email. Yeah, you will automatically receive a ticket in your email. What was I looking for in my phone, Lakeisha? I was looking for something. I forgot what it was that fast. Oh yeah, I was going to put the link in the chat. Hold on, let me put the link in the chat. And I want to ask some questions tonight because I'm confused. I'm not really confused because I'm really, when we talk about this whole bonding thing and the bonding of the sexes, not the battle of the sexes. The battle has been going on too long. I'm sick of that. I'm not doing that anymore. Y'all can, if y'all want to fight, y'all go ahead. Do it without me though, because I don't want to fight. I want to get along. I want to get along. I really do. I want to get on. I want us to get along. So I don't want to fight. So I'm working on, as I've said several times before, I'm working on the bonding of the sexes. Now I'm going to put the link in the chat. So if anybody wants to jump in on the video portion, you're welcome to do so. But I'm also going to put in the phone number as well, and whichever one works for you, then you feel free to do that. Let me put this phone number up. And as we get this conversation going tonight, then we can reason together. But what I'm learning, Lakeisha, what I'm learning, Otis, is that I read a book. I think it was Gary Smalley. I didn't read all of it, but I read part of it. And what Gary said in the book was that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So if men are from Mars and women are from Venus, then it's a little different, right? We understand on different frequencies. We hear in different tones. You know, sometimes we just miss it. You know, we can, men and women, honestly, we can say we can hear the same thing and get two totally different interpretations. We can look at something and see something totally different. And the reason we see things so different is because typically, Otis, most of the times, our lenses are shaped by our environment. Our lenses are shaped by our realities, the experiences that we've gone through throughout the course of life. Those experiences have a way of shaping us, and they cause us to see things a certain way. They cause us to see life through different lenses, and that's why when we can look at this exact same thing and see something totally different. I mean, somebody can look at a tree and all they see is that tree, but then you take the same exact person. Take a totally different person and have them look at the same exact thing, and instead of just seeing a tree, that same person will see a chair in that tree, because they're looking at the same thing, but they're looking at it through different lenses. So last week, I put a couple of questions out there, and most times those questions come from my personal reality. They come from my personal reality. They come from my things that I'm personally going through, and I don't want to ever put anybody on blast. So I always put stuff out there in the third person, even if it's involving me. And I try to get a better understanding of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a friend, and we were struggling Now, you know what? I don't want to say it's my friend. Let me use somebody else. Let me use an imaginary person on this one. So if y'all think I'm talking about me, I probably am, but so what? So let's just say I got this friend, right? And I got this friend, and he has been dealing with this one female, and they've been dealing one young lady, and they've been hanging out. And they haven't really established where they're going. No verbal commitments, but they hanging out. Y'all hear me now? They're hanging out, they're kicking it, they're spending a lot of time together, right? They're spending a lot of time together. They talk on the phone every day. When they're in each other, when they're in each, they go out when they're in each other's presence. They do all these things. They hang out, and then at a certain point, he takes her and introduces her to his family. He goes and he introduces her to his family. And so I asked this question the other day. I said, what do you think it means when a man starts introducing you to his family? Now, I asked this question to women, but it has to be to women, because I said, what do you think it means when a man starts introducing you to his family? And I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of taken aback at some of the answers. And the reason I was taken aback is because, honestly, we were like in two different frequencies. I mean, real talk, we were at so far, I'm talking about men and women, we were so far apart on the retrospect that it blew my mind. I mean, I was surprised because I'm pulling it up now, but there were so many women, and I'm not, like I said, this is not bashing, this is not pointing the finger, this is not being argumentative, this is not anything. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I'm really not. I'm trying to get clarity. I'm trying to get understanding, because I want us to communicate and hear each other on the same frequency. I'm tired of, like I said, us going back and forth. I'm tired of us arguing. I'm tired of there being lack of communication between men and women. So when I saw this, it said, what do you think it means when a man starts to introduce let me ask y'all, what do y'all think? No, I want the real one, Lakeisha. I mean, don't please, definitely don't tell me what I want to hear or what you think I want to hear. And I don't think you would do that anyway. I've been knowing you too long, and I just don't think that's how you roll. But I want to know the truth. What do y'all think? What does it? And please share this thread. Men, women, Otis, Jesse, whoever's there still. Let me put this phone number, because if you don't want to click the link is in the chat. So if you want to come on and say it, that's fine. If you don't want to come on, just call in 404-860-2775, and we can have a conversation. But I'm gonna tell you what women said. What women said. Well, one dude said something a little off, but and I can't say off because that's his response, and I mean, one thing I don't try to do is I don't try to censor anyone. So if you feel like that's where you are, then that's just where you are. But let me pull this up. This is what these are some of the responses that we saw. All right. Al Crater said, this is the one you don't let know what I'm doing. He said, if he brings a woman around, now he's a funny joking guy, but I think everybody jokes with the truth a little bit too. But he said, if I bring a woman around my family, then I'm letting my family know this the one you don't let know what I'm doing. So, all right, so we can dissect that and unpack that if we wanted to. Zoe Hurt said that means he is really into you and wants to see if they see what he sees in you. I like that. And Keisha said, not a doggone thing. Lucretia said, absolutely nothing. Tamara Nichelle said, I agree with everyone that said nothing. Now, this was the best response I saw from a woman. She said, I'm following to see the response of men. I like that one. She said, I am following to see the response of men. So many times, I think we make the mistake of speaking for one another. You got so many women where men think like this. Well, and Otis, we saw that at the podcast. There was a young lady that said, "Well, most men do this," and every man all of a sudden said, "No, that ain't true. That's not true. That's not true." Um, Now Otis said, "Let me see what he said." He said, "Otis, you can call in and talk about this because I saw your answer the other day too. That's the answer I was hoping for." He said, "I think it depends on how that man was brought up. My mother always taught us only bring her home to meet the family if you're serious about her." Okay, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But let's look at some more of the answers of the ladies. Let's look. And we're gonna look at TP's answer too. I'm gonna go back and look at some more of these answers. And I ain't trying to put nobody on blast. But Tony, now y'all got the same mama, Otis, so I know y'all probably learned the same thing. He said, "I never bring a woman around my real family unless we are already a couple and been together for a while, especially to meet moms. So for a woman to say it means nothing, to me, she really had a bad experience with the person she was dealing with or came from or came across the wrong man that's really a man. My family is very personal and means everything to me. Okay, I'm out of this discussion." I appreciate that. Otis said in that one, this is men talking. "I only bring a woman around my family when we are in a committed relationship. They can meet my homies all day." Zenteria said, this is another man talking now, "If you get an introduction to my family, it means I'm viewing you in a very significant way. And if you vibe with my family, you're liable to become family. They're going to be asking about you and all." Good stuff. OG Rice said, "No knock on you women answers. I respect everyone's mindset, especially you women. But if a real man takes you around his family, it's not because he wants to flaunt you. It's because he sees some type of desire from you. Men move different from boys. Do what that can." Okay. Conju, I appreciate her. She said he might be ready to marry or be, hopefully. Nancy Jones said, "It means nothing to some people, but I only introduce him if we're in a relationship. My family will give you the business on first family gatherings he attends. You'll find out if the family approves or disapproves." Of course, everybody likes to give the diplomatic. It depends on that man. For my man, it meant something special. When I ask y'all questions, I really be asking y'all to answer for yourself. I'm not really asking you to answer for everybody else. Hold on. Who this is. Let me see who this. Hold on. Hello? Oh, are you there? Oh shoot. Hold on. If you call right back, I'm sorry. I got there too late. My bad. If whoever that was that just call back in, please. Call back in, or I'm gonna go back to reading these responses while you're calling. But Cynthia said everything. He's saying, "Mom, Dad, sis, unc, this might be her. Check her out. I'm trying to see something." My dude waited a while, but when he brought me on the scene, it was very intentional. All right. Whoever just called me from that 626 number, call me again. Alicia, she said nothing. "You are not a cast member of Scooby-Doo. Stop trying to solve mysterious. When a man or woman is serious about someone, it shows." I don't understand that answer. "And it shows long before you meet her friends or family." I don't understand that. Okay, whatever. All right, here we go. Gonna try this again. Stay there. Answer. Here we go. Boom. I got it. All right. Big O. Man, I don't know. Let me get you off this. Let me stop sharing this screen and get you on here. I'm doing good. How you doing? Oh, okay, man. You've been owing me for how long? I don't know how long. I'm be in town tomorrow, so I give you a whole day's notice. Yeah, y'all was rapping. I ain't really have no rhythm. I wasn't that good at it. That was y'all. No, we ain't go to junior high together. You were 2 years older than I, so we were in high school by then. Yeah, yeah. You graduated with my sister. Yeah, but I'm gonna be in town tomorrow. So you want to be a rapper? Hey, look, I ain't have enough rhythm, so I knew I couldn't rap. But listen, this is my thing. Oh, now you saw me just read all the comments, and 85. I mean, I don't understand that lady's last comment, but I'm not gonna dwell on it either. Uh, Now, what I noticed, Otis, that it seemed like there was a difference in demographics. It seemed like women that were probably in their 30s, 40s, net range, some of them, those were the main ones saying nothing, 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 nothing. As we got a little older, it seemed like they started to say well, it depends. Well, I would hope, or it used to mean, all that kind of stuff. But every dude except for one specifically said that if I introduce you to my mom, it means something. Why does it mean so much if you introduce them to your mom, Otis? Hmm. Hold on, Otis, hold on. I forgot to share you in the screen. Hold on. Keisha just told me I didn't have you. Let me pull you in. Hold on. My bad. Thank you, Keisha. Let me bring you in. Yeah, she on the team, man. She definitely looks out. It looks out for me. I appreciate her too. Like I said, for real, for real. All right, here we go. All right, now y'all can hear him. All right, so I'm gonna ask the same question again. Now, why is it important for you? Why wouldn't you just bring a random around your mom?
Number one, most I'm 53 years old, so most men in my area we was raised up by our mom. So our mom only taught us how she want to be treated.
Okay.
So my mom, one thing she taught me, my brother, she said, call her who she is when y'all meet her. If she your girlfriend, she's your girlfriend. If she's some random, quote unquote, she's some random, but we wouldn't do that for the mom. See, usually, like I said, my mom taught us how to respect her. She showed us how one want to be treated. One thing our mama told us this. She said, I'm a woman. She said, don't you bring no woman around me if you cheating on her, because I'm going to tell it.
Ooh.
I can tell her.
Hold on. Your mama said, don't bring a random around her, if you cheating, because she going to tell it.
Right. She said she's a woman. She know how it feels.
Ooh.
See, my mama never, even though I ain't going to say my brothers, even though I did some cheating in my younger years, but my mama never approved of it. So I would never bring a woman around my mom because I know she would disapprove. So any woman I bring my mom now, it's like, Mom, this is it. This is the woman I want to be with. This is what I want you to, I'll introduce you to. This is it for me. Sunny dinners, holiday, this is the only one that's going to be here. So our mom, so we as young, she raised 3 men. So we know not to never bring a random. And then we would cheat on our wives and our girlfriend. We wouldn't tell our mom because we know she's going to tell it. Again, she's a woman.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So when women, and I agree with Tony Pearson, if you had a bad experience with a man that introduced to your family, something wrong. That's something happened. I mean, and you can't, women always blame the man. Don't blame us sometimes, because what did you do wrong? Because I'm going to tell you something. If a man bring you around his family, sister, that's respect. Especially he was raised up by his mama only. You know, that you know what I'm saying? So, go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, you go ahead, because you talking good. I mean, like, you the guest, so I got to be nice. I just was, I just had,
and you mentioned about the age difference. It is the age difference. Women have to understand. I've noticed on your platform, some of the women are 30 and 40. Well, they got to understand, they dealing with those men on that level. They use this issue called soft. Men are soft. Men are soft. Well, I tell a young lady this. If you 40 and 50, those are the men that you raised as being soft. Those are the young men you speaking of, So, but as an older guy, 53, I understand sometimes you have to be soft. You can't be hard. I was raised by my mama. You can call me soft if you want to, because I'm going to protect me and my family. But I was raised by my mama, so I have a little softness in me. My mama, when I say soft, she taught me when to be soft. You know what I'm saying? Are you okay? Can I get you something?
Yeah.
Are you all right? And then she taught me also as a man how to defend myself.
Okay.
Being soft for some men is okay. And I tell a woman, I am a little soft. My mama raised me. If you cry, I'm gonna cry with you.
Yeah.
I don't know my brothers will, but you know what I'm saying? But I was raised by my mom, so I give that respect to my mom. I would never bring a woman in front of my mom if I thought she wasn't the one. Now, have I did that, bring someone? Yeah, she wasn't the one, but my mama knew I loved her. She knew I was for real about her. Yeah. Because again, my family, we real tight. My family, every holiday, we always together.
Well, y'all still eat Sunday dinner together. Yeah, I know. I call, because Tony and I graduated together. Your brother Tony. So when I get home sometime on Sunday, if I call Tony will say, "Oh, I'm on my way to Sunday dinner." And I ain't gonna lie, I'll
yeah.
be silent for a minute, hoping he'll say you want to come, but he ain't never said you want to come yet. So
that's your homeboy now.
I know. I hope he listening. Look, I paid you good last night. Can I get a dinner? And I'm joking. But real talk, because I ain't gonna lie, it was disheartening to me to see so many women say absolutely nothing. They said
yeah, me
no.
too.
They said nothing. Myra, when I asked this question on my page, I said, if a man introduces, what does it mean if a man introduces you to his mother or to his family? And probably 75, 80% of women on my page said nothing. And probably 95% of the men, because only one said something different. No, two. One other guy said, and said, you know, sometimes I ask questions and there's no deeper intent meant, Otis. You know what I'm saying? That's really like a yes or no question. Dude, not yes, no, but what does it mean? It means he's into you or he's not into you. One dude
Right.
went on to saying, well, maybe if that man cheated and he knows she's about to leave him and now he's trying to propose to make sure she don't. I'm like, damn, who hurt you? Because I was not expecting that big response. You know what I'm saying? In that moment. I mean, why do we always have to go to the negative first? Why can't we start why can't we just look at something and give somebody, you know what? I used to teach my kids this, Otis. I used to teach my kids. Listen, number one, I didn't let them make more than 2 B's. That it was not acceptable to make more than 2 B's. I really didn't want 2 B's, but because they were athletes and extracurricular activities, you know, I knew it was going to be sometimes that, you know, they might not make it, right? But what I taught them was, I said, listen, you start off every semester with 100. You start off every semester with 100. In your class, you start off every semester with 100. Anything you give back, you gave away. So if you give back 10 points, now you don't have an A anymore. Now you're in the B status. If you give back 20 points, now you know you down into, 11, whatever, however the grading scale is. But the key is to hold on. But the point is, I'm teaching them, the teacher don't start you off with a 0. The mentality I want you to have is she's starting you off with 100. Is when I'm dealing with someone, when we first meet, I'm trying to give you 100 to start with. It's not innocent, it's not guilty, and then you prove your innocence. For me, it's innocent until you prove your guilt. You understand what I'm saying? So when I see so many people say, it means nothing, it means nothing, it means nothing, I'm like, well, what's going on with your family? Hold on, Keisha said something. She said, I'm not reading. Hold on, Otis, am I saying something wrong?
No, sir. You hitting it right on the buzzer.
Okay. Because
and I agree with you, because when I read those statements, I said, oh my God, I didn't realize the women would hurt that bad, because for me, it's like, it's an honor, it's respect. It's like, babe, I'm introduced you to my mama. I didn't know. I'm introduced to the woman that I love, the woman who showed me how to be a man. I don't understand why women would not take that as honor. I don't understand that. But then again, there are some moms who might be a little different. But to me, that should be honor and respect, because you're not gonna meet my mama and my brother, because I already know how my brother's gonna tease you anyway. But to meet my mama, oh, that's my mama, that's my queen, that's who I love.
And Lakeisha,
so, I don't understand why women. Oh,
Lakeisha got a question. I want you to answer her question, okay? She's saying if the two people are hanging out, and it was the story I gave you in the beginning, okay? Like, well, if the two people are involved, aren't really dating, but they hanging out. They've never said they were dating or anything, but they go out. They talk on the phone every day. They hang out quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? All the time. They only hang out with each other. There's nobody else even in the equation, right? But nothing has ever been clearly defined. Nothing has ever, no rules. And I think that's ain't that what you're saying, Keisha? They're just spending time together. And I think that word "just spending time" might mean more to some people than other people. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't say just spending time, because I think that minimizes spending time together. Maybe a little bit. Right. So she said, why would anyone assume anything? I think Otis, why would she, if they hanging out, not necessarily said they're dating, but they are kind of dating. She says just spending time. but he introduces her to his mother. What does he think about her?
Did he introduce her to his mother as his friend? It's introduction.
He didn't introduce her either way. He just introduced her.
Now, and well, he has feelings for her. And I'm gonna be real with you because he got feelings for her. He might not told her that. They might have understand. But if you hanging out, and let understand that we men, we have feelings too. We may not show them all the time, but we have feelings. If we constantly taking you out and spending our money on you, there's a connection with somewhere down the line. So if a man all of a sudden we just friends, and I'm speaking from experience, that we just friends, and I introduce you to your mama, babe, I got feelings for you. You know, I might not told you yet, but I got feelings for you.
What you think about that, Myra?
Like I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, you know,
especially if it's sex involved.
Back in the day, you remember caveman? A caveman would just go grab a woman by her hair and pull him to the house and be like, "You mine." You know what I'm saying? Or in kindergarten, you know, we'd be like, "Check the box, we go together." You know what I'm saying? But you know, so I don't know. For a man, it might be. For women, it might be different. You know, and like some women, and I get confused. This is where I get confused. And ladies, maybe y'all can help me out with this one. Let me ask you a question, ladies, and the ladies that are listening, I want your answer. Do you prefer actions or words? I know y'all probably gonna say I want action and words, but I know the old saying is actions speak louder than words. So if you don't hear the words but you see the action, how do you handle that? If you don't see the words or you don't hear the words but you see the actions, you know, we doing everything, we acting like we go together, we spend all our time together, but you don't hear the words. All right, what are you going to exit stage left? Are you going to run? How are you going to handle that? Have you ever been in that situation before, Otis? You were dealing with somebody, but you didn't define the role, but you were really digging them,
yes,
or
sir.
you were trying to, were you still evaluating? How did that go?
I have. Again, I'm speaking because I have been there. Somebody we just hanging out, but understanding I'm spending my money when we hanging out, and then sex came involved in it. So I'll be honest with you, as a man, if I'm feeling you on that level, and we constantly hanging out and spending my money, if we have sex, I'm feel some type of way about you because I'm not going to continue to spend money on just a friend unless we going Dutch, you know. But no, if you know, but I think that at that point that man should have said something to her. But I think it's kind of weird in that situation. Mostly it's the women that have feelings first. Mm-hmm. But I think that's kind of weird if a woman do not. But as a man, I think he should sit down and have a talk with her.
I mean, she might have feelings. I think she might have feelings. I think she might. I mean, she could have feelings, but of course, most women want a man to lead. You know what I mean? And so they want to hear it. They feel like they need to hear it. Go ahead.
I'm glad you said lead. You know, women always say they want a man to lead. They want a man to lead. Well, man, sometimes they lead. Every man lead different. We can't lead the way you want us to lead, baby. We every man leads different. Sometimes we need a hint. That's why when God created woman, he created her on the left side of his womb, where the heart was, close to his heart. Mm. Baby, it help me, help us, help me. We don't know exactly what we're doing. Help me. Yeah. I do agree. Behind every good man, there is a good woman behind him. But really, I think a woman really runs the household. The man might be the lead, but that woman, you ought to know how to encourage your man sometimes. Or when you see him down, he's still leading. He's just leading a different way. Yeah. Again, help me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think we hear. I think we hear from different perspectives. I really do. And this is the thing for me. 95% of the men on the post. You know, when you do a poll, they can't poll everybody. So they might go poll 10 people, and if 8 people say one thing, then 80% of the people say this. If they go poll 100 people, if 80 people say something, then 80% of the people say this. But in this case, it bothers me when I see several men. Now, because I think sometimes we try to make some of the specific things general, right? Because, you know, I've been in my specific situation, so I think that's the general consensus, and I don't think that's the case. I think You know, for instance, like all of us know one somebody or two somebodies that did this, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody thinks that way. I kind of get not necessarily offended, but I think we're kind of punching sand or pounding sand when men are telling you how they feel or how their position on a situation, but then women say, well, no, it ain't like that. That's like the post I did last week. When the man was married for 20 years, another man comes on to tell him that what has been working in his house for 20 years isn't working in his house. How the heck does that work? It's working for 20 years. So why are you trying to mess up or disrupt what's going on? So when men tell you, when I want to know something about a woman, I'm not going to think it for her. I'm going to ask her. Now, I can have my assumptions based on some of the people that I've dealt with in the past, but I realize that this person is totally different. Anatomically, they have a different fingerprint. They have a different thought pattern. They might be under a different zodiac sign. I mean, whatever it is, it's different. And I have to learn that person different. I have to learn that person's love language. I have to learn how that person moves if I'm going to effectively communicate with that person. The problem I think we have, Otis, one of the biggest problems we have is we love putting people in categories instead of dealing with them as individuals. What do you think about that?
Right. Yes, sir. I agree with you 100% on that. We do. Everybody's different. You know, everybody was raised everybody's different. We can't just put one man or one group of men in categories. You know, we have to understand everybody's different. It depends on their upbringing and how they was raised.
Yeah, and also what they've been exposed to. I love to use the expression that we're the effects of what we've been exposed to and what we've embraced. So if you're exposed to something and you've embraced it, then you have become the effects of those things, and that's how most of us process. That's how most of us. Those are the lenses those are the lenses that have shaped our worldviews, if that makes sense. And that's where we are with that. So yeah, we got but if somebody tells you something, believe them. Real talk. If somebody tells you something, believe them. Nobody, we're not telling you this just to be saying it. That's just like in that room that day when the young lady said, well, men don't do this. And then everybody said, well, I don't know any men like that. I had somebody inbox me a post the other day, and they talked, and it was a brother saying it, and then but I didn't know any guys like that. You know, I'm not saying and every guy that I talked to didn't agree. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know. And then there was a bunch of women on the post saying something like, well, see, the men ain't gonna respond to that. Well, no, we're not gonna respond to that because men don't a real man. Now, we can't talk about the male anatomy. There's a difference between the male anatomy and a real man. We can have a male anatomy and have male parts and, you know, and look like a man, all those kind of things, but don't think like a man or don't carry ourselves in a manly fashion, you know, or the responsibilities that go along with being a man, you know, just because we look a certain way. And I think that's where a lot of us are. And we got to fix that. We got to fix that. So that threw me off when I saw that, because I'm gonna be honest with you ladies, me personally, if I introduce you to my family, I don't introduce people to my family that really, honestly, I don't even hang around people I don't like. If I'm hanging out with you, you are potential. Point blank, period. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Me personally, if I hang out with you on a regular basis, I don't just hang out with people randomly because I'm my best friend. I can do me by myself. Before my daughter moved in with me back in July, I had got real used to living alone. And I'm comfortable in my own skin. I promise you. I've been doing me for 51 years. If the Lord says the same and I make it to July, I'll be 52. And I like me. I'm living the best days of my life right now. I'm the happiest I have been in a long time. So I'm comfortable being by myself. So if I decide to share space with anyone of the opposite sex, trust me, she is potential. I'm just like women say I'm dating with a purpose. I'm not just hanging out for the fun of it. I'm not. You, Otis?
Yes, sir. I'm here. I'm listening.
Are
I'm
you
trying.
hanging?
Yeah,
Are
you
you
hear
hanging?
me?
Well, I don't know. You might be more of a
But
ladies' man than I am. I don't know.
no. I figure on that now. I'm in that vein with you. Now I'm in that vein with you now on that one.
I got him
Number
stuttering,
one,
y'all.
I'm
I got him
I'm
stuttering.
53 years old. No, I'm in that vein because I'm 53 years old. I'm just not dating for the play. I'm not 20. I'm not 30 no more. I'm not 40. I'm 50. I'm grown now. So no, if I date for the purpose, I'm not gonna date you and spend my money and put you in public and all on Facebook and smile. I don't have a purpose with you, sister. I mean, I'm dating for a purpose. I'm tired of those young nights I had 20 and 30. I'm dating for a purpose.
Hold on. What Phoenicia
So when a
said.
sister tell me that, you don't scare me.
I'm sorry. I missed Phoenicia's comment. Phoenicia Mosley. I appreciate her too. She's a therapist. She said it depends on his love language. Some men use words and others may show acts of love. I get that. No, and that's not.
Yeah.
I'm not asking what he's doing. I'm asking, are you cool with his actions? I mean, if he's showing you actions, but he's not telling you words, Phoenicia, that's what I'm saying. He's showing you actions. He calls you every day when y'all go out on dates. Y'all, y'all might even be intimate. Y'all doing all these things. Y'all every day at 10:30 p.m. he calls you. I'm being facetious when I say that, but he's showing you actions. I mean, honestly, but he's not saying it, but he's showing it. How you gonna handle that, Phoenicia Mosley? That's the question I'm asking you. How you gonna handle that? Okay, yes, actions speak loud. Do they speak louder than words though? Because it used to be a time that actions spoke louder than words. Now we're in a different time. And I think and then again, you're the therapist. You help me. Is this relative? For instance, if the actions are speaking loud, but they're not speaking loud enough, then what? Then what? That's the question I have for the audience. The actions are speaking, and they speaking loud. I mean, y'all hold hands, y'all talk every day, y'all are doing everything almost, but no one has made a statement saying that they want to move forward with a relationship. They didn't say that they don't only want, I don't know. Y'all tell me how that should work. It depends on, she said it depends. Yes, actions speak loud. And it depends on the person. Of course, everything depends, but I want to speak on a relative, on a relative. Ladies in the chat, y'all tell me. She said, what's the number? Okay, I'll call in. Let me put the phone number. Otis, I gotta let you go. She about to call in.
Okay.
All right, I appreciate you, bro. All right, let me get him out. I'm gonna put the phone number. 1 second. Hold on. I appreciate you. All right, let me put the phone number up for Phoenicia. She's gonna call in so she can help me with this. She's a therapist, y'all. I'm not recording this show tonight, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all have to look at it on YouTube. All right, there the phone number is. Call in, or you can if you want to be on video, you can. It don't matter. I got the video. Let me put the video in there again. Let me put the link in there. Whichever one you want to do is fine. I just made the phone available for those because I know some people don't like talking on video, so I put them on chat. I put them on what's called it. I made a phone number for them. But yeah, the phone number is 404-860-2775. The question I'm asking, ladies, do actions speak louder than words? Do they? It used to be a time. Or do you need to hear it? Do you really need to hear it? Do you need to hear him say, we're moving forward, or we're in a committed relationship, or but I mean, depends on me now and where you are. Now, if you've been, let's just say y'all are 4 months in, 5 months in, not a year, 2, 3 years in, but y'all are 4 or 5 months in. All right, let me get this phone call. All right, let me gotta share it. Hold on, Phoenicia. Let me get you. Hold on. I'm not good at this yet. Share screen. I'm getting better at that though. I couldn't do it a couple of weeks ago. All right, let me make sure that nobody want to try to steal your phone number. There we go. Boom. All right, there we go. Hey, Phoenicia.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm always fabulous. You know that.
Always fabulous. Why you bragging? Can you package it? Can you bottle it? Can you sell it? Can we market it? I'm trying to figure out what we got to do to.
I will be a billionaire if I were, but some people don't want to believe that you can be fabulous every day, even on a bad day.
It don't have to be some people. We just need one person. We can do it. We can make it happen. We can make it happen. So here we are. Do actions speak louder than words?
Yes,
Okay.
clearly, yes, they do. A person has to be really observant of another person's way of communicating.
Mm.
And if your way of communicating is only by words, and the other person's way of communicating is only through actions, then there's a disconnect.
Is there a balance?
So
Or can there be a balance?
it can be in the two different forms of communication, absolutely.
Okay.
Because let's say if a person can verbally speak, but the other person is not able to verbally speak,
Mm-hmm.
can they still not communicate?
Of course.
Right. They're still going to be able to communicate. It's just going to look different.
Don't look
You
different.
have to meet each person where they're at.
Yeah. And I think God, in his infinite wisdom, gave us a tool that if we use properly will clear up a whole lot of confusion. And you know what that's called? Creativity, right? I think he's given
Absolutely.
us a way to express ourselves. You know, that's why it's hard for me to believe that two intelligent people would be arguing in relationships all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many different ways to communicate, right? You know,
I think part of it is probably about acceptance too. I think a large part of it is there is a block
mm-hmm,
a lot of times with people accepting the other person for who they are,
mm-hmm,
because each person has a starting point when you go into a relationship.
mm-hmm.
And so if you go into a relationship and you're at a starting point and the other person's way of communication is not like yours, but it may be the opposite or very different,
Mm,
do you accept that person for who and where they are?
that's good.
And then you learn to compromise and to meet each other where they're at and grow from there.
Absolutely. Now look at Lori's comment. Lori just said, so I want you're the therapist. I want you to listen to look at what she said. She said, words give the atmosphere for clarity and what is meant when it is said. Actions without words you can assume.
Which then may raise more questions. I think sometimes when people because actions can also be misinterpreted just as words can be misinterpreted.
Mm-hmm.
So because what your perception of what someone means or what a certain phrase may mean to you may mean something completely different to the other person.
Absolutely.
Which then we have to be comfortable with. Can you explain that further, or can you make that plain
There we go.
for me? Or did you mean XYZ?
Yeah.
Oftentimes in relationships, people think that they may appear dumb
Mm-hmm.
or stupid because they ask a question. And so a person may get upset at someone because their understanding of what a person said is from their own perception. But that's not what the other person meant.
Say that. Can you rewind and say that one more time, please? Hold on before you say that again, because I need to drop one of these on you right quick. Hold on. I need to drop one of these on you. Don't forget what you just said, because I need you to say it one more time. Let me drop this bomb right quick. I need to drop a bomb.
Oh, that's what you
Hold on, drop
like,
one
what
more.
am I doing?
Drop one more bomb. Hold on, because you just said something. Hold on, say it again. Hold on. I need to give you one more bomb. All right, cool.
A person.
All right, I'm good now.
Am I cued?
Yeah, you cute. Go ahead.
Okay. So a person's perception, if someone says something and the other person's perception of what that person said is based on, their own beliefs or their own history of hearing whatever that statement was, sometimes it's a disconnect.
Absolutely.
So you have to ask a question to make sure what I heard you say was, or let me make sure I understand what you said.
Yeah.
And it's through questioning that they'll say, no, that ain't at all what I meant.
Yeah.
But some people are afraid to appear dumb or stupid. And so they just go along and don't speak up. They don't say anything. But you have the wrong belief of what that person was trying to relate to you.
You running with a poison. I call it a poison perception. Your perception is
Absolutely.
poisoned, and when
Absolutely.
you run, here it is. When you run with a poison perception, your premise is off. And if your premise is off, any other product that comes beyond that premise is going to be flawed. It's like they tell you to get the measurement of a circle. What do? You start in the center. And if you
Yep.
start anywhere other than the center, there's no way you can get the correct measurement of that circle, right? So if you
Right.
have misunderstood something from the beginning, if your interpretation, or as my friend Lori just said, if we've left the room for assumptions and the assumption is off, then your outcome is likely going to be off as well, unless, like Miss Mosley just said, when you think you heard something that you weren't cool with, in that instance, the mature thing to say, hold on, now what did I just hear? Or what were you just trying? What message were you? Because sometimes when I'm really close to somebody and I understand how they process and how and to understand that, Phoenicia, guess what? That takes time. See,
It does.
most of us don't do the courting phase anymore, right? I had a woman tell me once before, and I've said it on the show before. I had a woman told me I missed it because I did too much flirting and not enough courting. Well, truth be told, I did more flirting because I wasn't ready to start courting yet, and I wasn't ready to start
Right.
dating. So I mean, I flirted, and I was probably wrong for it, but I'm cool because you can't miss what you never had. I get it. So, but at the end of the day, the courting phase is where you learn a person's proclivities, you learn the idiosyncrasies, you learn what makes them tick. You learn the things that they dislike. For instance, if I know you dislike something, for instance, if we're dating, Phoenicia, hypothetically, and you know that I'm allergic to shrimp, are you gonna cook me a shrimp dinner?
I sure won't.
Because you know I'm allergic to it. But you've taken
Right.
time to learn what I like and what I don't like. As we get to know each other,
And
or
what can harm you?
excuse me.
And what can harm you?
And as we get to know each other, we start to
Right.
develop this closeness. We start to develop, we start to learn more about each other, and we start to protect each other as we get closer. In other words, if we've been hanging out for 6 months, when we get to 9 months, I ought to know more about you in 9 months than I did in 6 months, right?
Right.
If I'm hanging out with you for 2 years, I should
Hanging
know
out and
more
paying
about you.
attention.
Say what now?
Hanging out and paying attention.
Yeah. I'm a perceptive individual, so I'm probably going to pick up on certain things, you know what I'm saying? But it takes time. It takes time. But
Right.
but like I said, I know me personally, my biggest issue, and you might want to give me, you can send me an invoice if you want to after this. If this is a therapy session. My biggest issue is, of course, I was married for so long. And so being married so long, when you think about possibly at some point putting somebody else taking that spot in my life, who could potentially be a wife, that's a heck of a choice, because that last choice lasted 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so
Right.
there was times I was probably afraid of commitment. You know what I mean? If I talk to you on the phone for 4 nights in a row, I might not call on the 5th night because I didn't want to set you up for a routine. Because if I call you 3 nights or 4 nights, and then I don't call you the 5th and 6th night, but then I call you the 7th night, and you say, where you been? I ain't calling no more. I'm done. That's a sense of commitment sometimes, that if I'm not ready to. But if I've made that commitment, if I'm calling you every day and we're hanging out and we're going out, all those types of things, that means something, to me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Whether I say it or not. Now, pray for me, y'all. Stu Nation, pray for me. Pray prayerfully. If the Lord says the same and he decides to let me get some type of companionship, when I meet the right person, I will let them know, hey, this is where I'm at. But I don't know. But this might be for some gentleman out here or some woman that is requiring or wanting more. I don't know. But I don't want there to be confusion. I want us to work on really bonding, because that's what we're talking about, bonding. And part of bonding is understanding the opposite sex. and how they think.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and I think a large part of what may be missing from, I guess, where I sit and couples, which are engaged couples, dating couples, and married couples, is communication. Of all the couples that I currently have active at my practice,
Hmm.
the primary issue has been communication of all of them,
And is it from both sides?
both.
Okay.
The first assignment that we give in my office of all clients, no matter the type of relationship that they're coming in, whether it's dating, engaged, or have been married, and now divorced, have one couple that's heading towards divorce, is the rules of communication.
Hmm.
And that looks different depending on the couple.
Yeah.
It's not the same for everybody.
Yes.
And
Thank
I
you.
think that's what a lot of people is think about or try to say is, this is how I communicate, and so this is how we're going to communicate. That's not fair to the other person, because you came into the relationship as an individual
Mm,
who made a choice to join with someone else. So just like you want them to learn you, you also have to learn them. And
absolutely.
as a couple and as a unit, you all have to come up together with your rules of communication. And what does that look like for your unit?
Okay, I like that. She said, yeah, let me restate what she just said. She said, you all together have to come up with your rules of communication. Phoenicia, that's good. That's good. You have, because whether we know it or not, inadvertently, we're bringing baggage, especially if we're not completely healed. We're bringing
Right.
baggage from the last relationship into this next relationship. And anything that triggers you or anything that reminds you of the old relationship typically is going to trigger. It's going to cause some trigger. It's like picking a scab if it's not healed yet. If it's a sore that's still in the process of healing and a scab has started to form and you think that you're healed enough, when you start picking at that scab, what happens? It becomes reinfected. Might start to
Right.
bleed again. It still has a sensation of pain. All of those things. And what inevitably what it lets you know at the end of the day is, guess what? You weren't healed yet.
Right.
Because something is still triggering you. You're still in pain because you're telling yourself, I'm not going to be mistreated. I'm not going to do this. And ain't nobody doing that to you. Nobody's doing, no, well, at least that wasn't the intention. But your poison perception makes you think that someone, and we have to stop that thought process. So the therapist, Miss Phoenicia Mosley, gave us at least one nugget. I'm going to ask her for another one before we get off here, because we've been on about an hour and I got to pack because I'm traveling. I'll be in Little Rock tomorrow. But she gave us one. She said couples that are trying to get it together, that are trying to mend the bond, that are trying to strengthen the bond, that are trying to build a bond, you should come up with your own rules of communication. And then when you come up with those rules of communication, then abide by those rules of communication. Give us something else, Phoenicia, and then we're going to get out of here.
Related to communication?
Yeah, something else you would tell your couples. Because you said communication is one of the biggest issues. And it seems like
It is.
and the way the conversation ended up going tonight is that, because like I said, when I started the conversation tonight, I was saying that how I was noting how men and women hear on different frequencies, right? And then it led to
Right.
actions and versus words and all those types of things. And did actions speak louder than words? And then you came up and you gave us a really good example when you said that people should set up their own rules for communication, because communication is one of the biggest issues that people have in a relationship. Is there,
Right.
if it's not communication, you can give us another issue, or you can give us a
Well,
technique?
I will say, to go a little bit along with communication, that we have been teaching also is how to listen intently when there is a disagreement or it's a big conversation that needs to be had in a relationship. because most times, which we all do, not just in intimate relationships, is when someone's talking to us, we're already thinking about what we need to say
Mm,
or what's our rebuttal or what we're coming back to.
okay.
And so I always share what we're teaching is how to take notes.
Okay.
Get you the most recent couple, we asked them to get a journal,
Mm-hmm.
and you all have this journal at a neutral place, and that's how you need to communicate. If the other person can't use their words verbally,
Mm-hmm.
then you can write those down, and you all write to each other back and forth in your journal.
That's good. I remember at one point when back in the day, we did something like that. I called it 3 a.m. conversations. And we would be in the bed. We would literally wake up at the same time at about 3 o'clock, and it would be pitch black in the room, and we couldn't see each other, but we were there, and we would have some of the deepest conversations in that
Right.
moment at 3 o'clock. So we had, so yeah. So I guess she was,
Sometimes I think you find yourself being a little bit more open if you're not good at communicating because they're looking at you,
Mhm.
or your perception is that they don't hear you, or they're cutting you off.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity to write it down,
Okay. I like that.
leave it for them to pick it up, and then they write a response. And so now you're able to get to that level of communication. Another that I would point is I always share whenever the argument or disagreement becomes escalated,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to have a code word to walk away. But what a lot of people fail to not do or fail to do is wait for a neutral time to come back. They don't ever come back.
Yeah.
It's left out there in the atmosphere, and then after 2 weeks, when y'all not talking, then all of a sudden you
It
start
blows
talking
up.
like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta agree to come back. And my rule that I usually encourage everybody is wait 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Go to your corner, wait 30 minutes, have a neutral place, and you come back and you try it again using your normal voice that's not escalated. And then now you make sure you follow your rules of communication because you've established those.
That's good. Yeah. I read an article in a long time ago. I think it was called The Art of Fighting Fair. And they said, you said 30 minutes, but they said at least take 5 minutes, just, and I think more than anything, take a break. There are
Right.
sometimes, and I know I frustrate the heck out of my friend because she'll ask me a question, and if I don't have an answer, I'm not answering it. I'm not.
But
Because
you can communicate that.
yeah, I can, and sometimes I might be guilty of not. But
Right.
if they ask me why didn't I answer, I say I'm still processing it.
That
And
part.
yeah, I
So
mean,
that's what we teach is
yeah,
just because you're thinking it, you need to take it outside of your head and let the other person you're with hear that, because in their mind they may think you're ignoring them.
and I can
It
see
goes
that.
back to perception.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. And so I got to do better in that regard because I'm if I don't have an answer, I'm not gonna answer. I'm just not. I'm not. And then another thing is if your answer is based on what I call that poison perception piece, I'm probably not going to answer that one either. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of times
Right.
I might not answer until I get frustrated because I'm sick of you keep coming up with these poison. I'm like hell, I don't even think like that. Why do you don't limit me to thinking like you think? Because if I thought like you thought, then we would both be women. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man and you're a woman, so give me the benefit of the doubt that we probably think different. And if we think different, then if you don't understand, scripture even says, in all thy getting, get understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm assuming I'm a pretty good
Right.
communicator. And as a pretty good communicator, I'm
To you.
assuming, yeah, to me, keyword, I said assuming. I prefaced it. Notice what I said right
Yeah.
before that. Don't say
Right.
I said that. Don't how you gonna shoot the wounded? I just said I think I'm in my opinion, that's my I'm joking. But
Right.
in my opinion, I say it again, I think I'm a pretty good communicator. But if I'm
Right.
saying something wrong, then tell me I said something wrong. Or if you don't understand, ask me. I can usually say the same thing at least 4 or 5 different ways. I usually can
Right.
say it.
And that's the key is I don't think a lot of times it's not that it's wrong. It's just that it may not be clear to the other person.
Yeah. And that's easy. But I mean, but then that goes back to a statement that I made a couple of weeks ago. be careful drawing conclusions too soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if you draw a conclusion, to draw a conclusion is final.
Right.
And it stops the understanding process. If I really want to seek clarity, then sometimes that requires a journey. That requires going through the process of understanding, or whatever. And like I said, sometimes that means you might have to say it a different way. Like you said, you might have to write it in a journal. I
Right.
used to do 3 a.m. conversations. Sometimes it might have to be a text. I know, but I know texts have no tone. I get it, but texting is the same as writing, so the same thing. Journal, so it's still words, but you have to find a way to communicate, and you have to do what works best for you. And here it is. This is the caveat right here, and we're about to get out of here. The caveat is, if the person means that much to you, you'll figure out a way to communicate.
Right.
If you feel like they're worth the investment, if you feel like that person, you can see a future with that person, and you're willing to take the necessary steps. There it is. If you're willing to take the necessary steps to move forward, that's probably going to require some type of creativity. It's going to require work. It's going to require us figuring out, as you just said earlier, what each other's love languages are, and then loving each other on those love languages. But whatever, it's not going to be easy. And if there's going to be a bond, that bond is going to have to be built. And that's the
Right.
part. I don't know about you, but if I'm going to be in a relationship, then that means that I might have to put on a hard hat. That means I might have to have a tool belt, because I'm going to have to put in some work to make that relationship work, right? And so,
Right.
and that's all of us. If we're talking about building a bond, especially a bond between the sexes, it's going to require putting in work. All right, what you got for us before we leave, Phoenicia? I'm about to get out of here. I'm about ready to go to bed.
Let's just focus on communication and understand that our perception of what another person says, if it's not clear, let's become comfortable with asking questions for more
Let's
clarity.
become comfortable asking questions. All right, thank you, Phoenicia. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. All right, that's one of my resident therapists, Miss Phoenicia Mosley. She's come on and she's given us some good information tonight. One of the best, I think the biggest takeaway I have is to establish rules of communication in your relationships. I like that. All right, so I'm out. I was gonna give away a ticket tonight. I'm not. I changed my mind. I might do, but stick around tomorrow night because I might give away one tomorrow night. But I'm gonna give away some tickets in the coming weeks. Somebody asked me how long the early bird special is going to be. Keisha Kiki, I don't know. I know what you said, but that might not be the case. We might stop it in 3 days, depends. But I'm gonna follow the spirit. I'm just gonna follow the spirit. And what the spirit tells me to do is what we're gonna do. But right now, if you have not gotten your tickets for Bonding of the Sexes to May the 4th at the Kappa House on Wright Avenue in Little Rock, Arkansas, we will be having Bonding of the Sexes 2. And on Bonding of the Sexes 2, I will be announcing the panelists list soon, but I'll be there. That's the main thing. And we're going to have a good conversation. Bonding of the Sexes at the Kappa House on Wright Avenue. Right now, the tickets are, we have early bird special. You can get your tickets, your VIP for $30. And you can get your general admission for $15. Go to the website, to the events page, scroll down to the bottom. It says 40 and 20. When you click on it and you get through the process, you will see the discount there. It's 15 and 30. Go ahead and buy your tickets. $30, you get quite a bit. Unlimited drinks, VIP food, VIP reception, photo opportunities. You also get guaranteed seating. Make sure you go ahead and get your tickets. Also, when you register, you have to hit you have to put in the country code when you put in your phone number. So you have to put +1, then the phone number. +1, then the phone number. General admission and VIP are available. My team is working hard, and they're looking forward to receiving you on that night. I'm out. Got to travel tomorrow. Little Rock, I'll see y'all tomorrow. But it's been real. Remember this, the world is changing. My question for you always will be, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good night, and I'll catch you on the rebound. All right? Y'all stick around this week. No telling when I'm going to be putting out free tickets or when I'm giving away tickets. I'm going to give away a few. My team has authorized me to give away. They've even bought tickets because they didn't want us to lose any money. They bought tickets so they can give them away. So, yeah, stay tuned. But if y'all want to support the program, just go ahead and buy a ticket. I'm out. The world is changing. Why do you remain the same? Love y'all for real.
Intellectual stew. Intellectual stew with James Kirkland. Intellectual stew. Intellect.